Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So I have a Discord Q&A coming out later on, and I will be doing them weekly. So every Wednesday, expect a Discord Q&A to come out. So yeah, I'll have that out in a couple hours from now. In this one here, I wanted to actually talk about, and I'll talk about this a little bit more too in my Q&A, but I actually wanted to talk about the synopsises for episodes, I guess, 9 to 16 for season 11. Now, I don't know if this is legit at all. I have no idea. There was a member here from our Discord that posted them here, and I have no idea where this is from. I've been trying to look for it. I couldn't find anything, but it seems legit. The way it's worded seems like it's very legit. But the thing is, too, is like synopsises for each episode don't normally give away a lot, but they also kind of do as well. I mean, if you look at part A of season 11, the synopsises gave away so much, and I mean, it gave away quite a bit. You know, and I think if you look back to seasons 9 and 10 and even earlier seasons, whenever you would read a synopsis for an episode, it was so vague. Like, it was so vague. And I used to complain about it too. I was like, you can give a little bit more there. And I definitely think they have here. When you're reading this is definitely very exciting. But again, I don't know if it's true because it hasn't been officially released. So I have no idea. But with that being said, you know, first of all, I guess you should just take it all with a grain of salt, because I have no idea if this is true or not. But we're gonna go through all of them here because it does seem legit. That's the thing. It actually does seem very legit, but we'll have to wait and see obviously where it goes. But I'll read through all of it here and then I'll give my thoughts on it afterwards and stuff. So obviously, if you are new to the channel and you do want more Walking Dead content like this, then make sure to hit subscribe. Episode 9 is titled apparently No Turning Back, and the synopsis reads: as an emerging leader, Leah and the Reapers defend Meridian from Maggie and Negan's ongoing attack. Gabriel takes a stand. After Alexandria's destruction from the storm, the Alexandrians come to terms with departure. It's weirdly worded there, and then it says, then encounter a larger world. So that part there is very vague, and so if you look at that synopsis, it's like, yeah, I guess anyone could have made that up, right? Because a lot of that makes a lot of sense. If you're looking at like past synopsises, if you're really good at like making a synopsis, I think you can easily make that one up there. And that's exactly what I expected to happen in 9 anyways, right? So 9, that one could be fake, but let's move on to episode 10 here. So episode 10 is apparently titled New World Order. This is where I don't necessarily know if that's actually the case, and that's where I'm like, this could be fake, because they don't normally take comic titles, right? It's something a lot of us want a lot, but they normally don't do it. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't do it. They obviously could do it, but this part here just seems a little, I don't know, like that's the part that I definitely have a hard time believing, just because it's, I mean, they never do it, right? So yeah, I don't know about the title, but the synopsis says Governor Pamela Milton welcomes the Alexandrians to the Commonwealth. Several ties and agreements cause a major dispute among the Alexandrians about their future. Negan questions his own future and embraces a new lifestyle. So I don't know about that whole thing. Again, this part here kind of sounds like it could be real, right? The synopsis here makes a lot of sense. Pamela Milton's going to welcome the Alexandrians to the Commonwealth. People have a lot of ties and connections and stuff to Alexandria, so I don't know if they're going to want to go. A bunch of disagreements. It's kind of what I expected to happen in the beginning anyways. And then we move on to episode 11 here. It's apparently titled We Find Ourselves. It says Leah is determined to retaliate against Alexandria. However, she runs into a familiar face and a group of new strangers who pose a more serious threat. With Daryl's group adjusting at the Commonwealth, Eugene seeks to amend certain issues with Lance's advice. So that's, again, people could have made that up, but like that is so sort of random that it would be hard for me to say, okay, that's totally made up right there. That sounds really legit. When you look at that, I mean, it confirms that Leah does survive episode 9, so that's really exciting. It says she runs into a familiar face and a group of new strangers who pose a more serious threat. That's interesting. Like, what the hell is that about? Is that CRM related? Is Leah going to literally run into the CRM? Because we know that they're supposed to play a role in part 2 here. Is that what they mean with that or not? Is it just some other random group? Because you know how Angela Kang likes to like come up with like these other groups that sort of mean nothing in the end, right? Then it says with Daryl's group adjusting at the Commonwealth, Eugene seeks to amend certain issues with Lance's advice. So yeah, you know, Eugene wants to make things better for everybody here because Daryl and everyone, and we saw that in the trailer, they are at the Commonwealth now. So I could see how that makes sense. And then we go on to episode 12 here, which is, I guess, the halfway mark of the season, the final season, is apparently titled Honor the Dead, and says Maggie makes efforts to accept Negan living alongside her and Herschel as they work to make Alexandria thrive. Tensions and suspicions arise in the Commonwealth as Yumiko tries to inspire their justice system. Leah attempts to warn Daryl about a potential dangerous enemy. So that could be, I mean, what, is that CRM related? It must be, right? And so I'm wondering if at this point here, Leah actually is taken into the Commonwealth. And so you have Leah and Daryl working together, I guess, the Commonwealth. And then there's like, some CRM or Civic Republic stuff happening there. Unless she's warning them about the Commonwealth. I mean, that's also very possible. But that there is like, I thought Daryl was at the Commonwealth. And if he is, that means Leah must be there. I mean, the synopsis before says that Leah runs into a familiar face and a group of new strangers who pose a more serious threat. So that could literally be Leah trying to retaliate against Alexandria, comes across Daryl and then the Commonwealth, and then is eventually taken in there, right? But let's talk about episode 13 here. It is apparently titled I'll Find You. With Alexandria now belonging to the Commonwealth, Daryl and Carol seek to find Pamela's real motives after several questionable decisions. Sebastian seeks to punish the Alexandrians with his own method. Luke and the Oceansiders look to find their place in the community. So that's interesting there. So at this point here, it seems like, again, if this is legit, Alexandria and some of the other communities like Oceanside, first of all, Oceanside comes back, they actually also belong to the Commonwealth. They are now under the umbrella of the Commonwealth. And so now Daryl and Carol are like, okay, well, this is good for us. We got a lot of resources now. Alexandria is going to thrive like never before, literally. But like, obviously, Pamela Milton, there's going to be some suspicious stuff there. Sebastian seems to punish the Alexandrians with his own method. That's going to be interesting right there. That's where we start to get into some like Joffrey stuff from Game of Thrones, right? Where they can really do some really crazy things there that are going to really enrage the fan base. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And then we go into episode 14, titled Consequences. Maggie seeks to discuss recent events and a new threat with Pamela. That part that could make sense. It says Rosita ranks up in the military. That makes a lot of sense as well, because we've seen a lot of shots of her a part of the Commonwealth militia. Eugene, Stephanie, and Princess attempt to stop Sebastian after finding out his plans to sabotage specific agreements. That also makes a lot of sense when you're looking at the fact that in the trailer, there was quite a bit of shots of Princess and Eugene working together still. And so if Stephanie is still there, is it the fake Stephanie or whatever? I have no idea how that all worked out at this point here. But yeah, that's a little interesting. And then it says Judith looks to Virgil to seek Michonne's whereabouts after revealing information comes to light. Herschel has doubts about Negan, and yeah, so that there is like, I mean, I can't even start with that. Like, Judith looks to Virgil to seek Michonne's whereabouts after revealing information comes to light. What the hell does that mean, right? That is such a that's the thing about all these synopsises here is like, they're very exciting. When you're reading this, it is so exciting, but I don't know if they're legit. I have no idea if they're legit. If it's legit, I'll be like, this is amazing. Part 2, it looks to be so good already, but I have no idea if this is legit at all. And if any of you guys know, definitely post down in the comment section, because like, damn, this would be really cool for Judith to find out some more information regarding her father. That's big. And then Herschel has some doubts about Negan. That obviously does make some sense. And I would love to see some Herschel and Negan scenes, because Maggie's obviously going to, at this point, try to accept him. And yeah, that's kind of the direction that I want them to go in anyways. I think it's going to help Maggie be a better character, because I think, Negan is such a fan favorite because Maggie doesn't like him and treats Negan the way that she's been treating him. It makes her character look awful. And I haven't been a fan of the character either, which is hilarious because she's doing everything right. Like, she's standing by her own beliefs and her own ideologies, and obviously she's not going to like him, right? So it's just from a fan perspective, it's so hard when you really like the character like Negan, right? But anyways, let's move on to episode 15 here. Apparently it's titled Life and Death. With Ezekiel's health seemingly deteriorating, Tommy worries that it may be too late to save him. Kelly, Connie, and Princess come to his aid. Mercer questions his loyalty and the security if the Commonwealth under Pamela's leadership and Lance's influence. chaos is in reach in every community and its future at stake. So yeah, at this point here, obviously the stakes are starting to go higher at this point. Things are starting to get very chaotic within the Commonwealth, and there's a lot of stuff going on with Sebastian, a lot of drama there. And that's where things are going to get very interesting if someone actually does die here. And then we get to the very last episode of part 2, apparently titled The Rotten Core. And again, this is another comic reference. I don't know if this is, I mean, it's a perfect title. I say use it. Honestly, just use it. I don't know why they avoid the comic titles. I don't know if there's some like legal issue with it, but they've done it in the past as well. So no, just use it. I think The Rotten Core, New World Order, those are just perfect titles, you know, Life and Death. But anyways, let's go on to the synopsis here of episode 16 of season 11, titled The Rotten Core. After a devastating discovery, the established communities within the Commonwealth protest to exile and cut ties with the Alexandrians. Civil unrest contemplates separation within the communities as Maggie, Aaron, Pamela, Daryl, and Negan come to disagreements about their future. Friends now become enemies with a dire threat looming at their door. So this is where they're really going to start to build up to either a Civic Republic or CRM threat, and obviously taking into consideration a lot of things within their lifestyle, I think, and how they view the future, right? A lot of people have different thoughts about the future, like someone like Rosita obviously is probably going to fight for the Commonwealth, right? And regardless of who Pamela Milton or Sebastian Milton are, you know, before the apocalypse happened, there were corrupt people as well. They just want things to go back to normal, right? So they might not care so much. They might not want to join this rebellion, right? Although I could totally see Rosita wanting to join a rebellion, but she's a mother, right, of a young baby. So I you know, that's where I'm like, you know, I think she might just be totally cool with just living peacefully. But others are probably going to think differently. So I don't know. There's going to be a lot of interesting issues here. A lot of them don't like the Alexandrians. And so that's going to be, you know, obviously the people of the Commonwealth. I think Pamela Milton and Sebastian are definitely going to try and get the Alexandrians to be exiled and try to turn everyone against them. I think it makes a lot of sense to do that, since it's like they came in, they might be trying to take power from everyone. But again, I don't know if any of this is real. I mean, going based off of some of the leaked footage and stuff from episode 17 or 18, where people are actually rioting, it actually seems like all of this could be legit. It actually seems like they are building to something here, and that based off of these synopsises here, it actually seems like everything here is 100% legit. It's just sort of, you know, without that official announcement, it's hard to say that this is official, right? But this is big, though. Honestly, if this is actually how the season's going to go, right, then this is, honestly, I really can't wait to see what's going to happen here. But I am so hyped. I am so stoked for all of this. And I think that part 2 is going to be really great. I mean, besides all of this happening, what else is going to happen, right? And you know that the Civic Republic, the CRM, are going to be playing a role here in part 2. So there's some stuff there. There's also some stuff with some of the Rick Grimes stuff. And I mean, what exactly does Judith find out, right? Obviously, she's most likely going to find out stuff about her father's survival. But maybe she finds out some stuff about Michonne and what happened to her, right? Maybe something recently has happened. Michonne got a message to her, and then there's just something that she's trying to figure out here. And that's where I can see, like, in part 3, right, with all the Commonwealth stuff sort of calming down, Virgil and Judith and other characters there, you know, trying to figure out what's happening with Rick and Michonne. Maybe Negan's there as well, or actually, I'm pretty sure he goes to the Commonwealth at that point. But I could totally see early on in part 3, halfway through part 3, Daryl and everyone else finding out about Rick's survival. And that's kind of what we're building to here, which is really exciting. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to leave it here. This video is going on long enough. Post your thoughts down below. Do you guys think this is all legit? Do you think this is real? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.